Across the whole of the Sherwood Forest area, there's things that lurk on the grass. Not particularly nice things. Even though they're invertebrates, they're not an invertebrate that I'm particularly fond of. The ticks. And this year, they're plentiful. Now, I was just walking up section D, and I thought, that looks strange. You may be thinking, well, what looks strange? That in the centre, goes amongst these stones. If I move these stones out of the way, you may well see now that this is not all it appears to be. It's no stone, or it's no little pebble. If I turn it over, you may well be able to see now it's got legs. That dark circular bit at the front is the pronotum, or the thorax, and just between the middle pair of legs there is the rostrum. This is a tick, and this one is full fed. Now, I don't care particularly for these arachnids, but I am starting to find them quite interesting. I'm wondering just what species are here. I think along this sustenance grass track at Clipsnell Quarter there are at least 2 species that are easily seen at the top of grass stems. You could find one within a second. In fact, as I look across the path now, I can see one. But now you can see that this is actually alive and that it's not a pebble at all. Of course, you are looking at this from underside. But this was as big as what I'm going to show you in a minute yesterday. Now, I'll try and hold all this steady so that you can see. There we have the tick I just showed you. And then on this typical grass stem, look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks there. 2 larger ones with the red, they're deer ticks. The other 2 might not be, those 2 smaller ones in the centre. But that one, yesterday, would have been this size, the size of the one that's facing you. In a way, you have to admire these. I know, well, I've questioned them before, but I know a lot of people question, what is the purpose of ticks? But this is how ticks look to most people, until they're on your dog or on you. Then they become that. Quite incredible things, really, when you think about it. But say, here's 4 just on the top of one grass stem. When you approach them, the front pair of legs reach out to greet you, or rather, that should be to grab you. Which this one's starting to move a bit now. Grabs you, latches onto your clothing or your skin, and then proceeds to find somewhere soft and warm and moist to bite into you. And then what's on the stem here becomes that. Quite remarkable. And as I mentioned, Sherwood Forest area is absolutely full of them, but they're not restricted to Sherwood Forest area by any means. They're pretty much all over. I found a lot at Clumber yesterday, well, the other day, or at the top of stems like this. The ones I've just showed you on a stem were on this grass plant, and we're actually at the top of that stem just there. And they'll sit and they'll wait along path edges. You can get a dozen or so within close proximity, but they're very easy to spot at the top of tall grass stems or dead old flower head stems of grasses and other vegetation. You certainly need to be careful, especially when you're walking in Sherwood Forest, because ticks have increased enormously over the years. And that's down, or at least has been put down, to an increase in deer numbers. But while deer numbers are still said to be high, I've not seen them here in the numbers that we used to get them. But if you're walking your dog anywhere in Sherwood Forest, or you're walking your kids, you need to be aware that they're very likely to pick up ticks.